Good morning, all. Mid-morning, I guess I should say. Back in the studio, and this video's plan, fingers crossed, is to paint another big painting, the American beech tree. So in the previous video, you saw me finalize kind of the sketch of the tree and finalize the colors for the bark and do a sketch of the bark. But in this video, I actually want to start on this big panel and hopefully, fingers crossed, finish the large painting. So I'll flip the camera around and show you the size of the panel. But before we jump into this week's video, here's a quick introduction in case you're new around here. Hi there, I'm Stacy, the encaustic mixed media artist behind Studio Stacy. Encaustic literally means to burn in. So I paint with beeswax and a torch, and because it's mixed media, pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Consider subscribing and joining this artsy community. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, which helps me get introduced to more like-minded artsy folks like yourself. All right, here's the panel. It already has a layer of clear encaustic medium and a layer of white paint. It's a little bit kind of, I don't know if splotchy is the right word in areas, but that's fine because I'm going to add a bunch of background colors to it. I think that is today's plan anyways. And I do have kind of some like spots on here because it has been sitting just on the studio, actually underneath these paintings over here. So, you know, got a little few marks on it, but I'm not worried about it because it's all going to get pretty much covered up. And speaking of colors, these are the three colors I'm going to use. This is blue ochre, even though it looks black, it's blue. Turkey umber and cobalt teal green. This is an encausticose color. These two are both RNF, in case you are wondering. And then, of course, I have the clear encaustic medium heating up, and I have the white paint over here, which I did just add some medium to, so just have to mix that up a little bit. But yeah, that's it. I think I'll probably just stick you up on time lapse for this since you've seen me paint these backgrounds before. Did I say this panel is 18 by 24? I don't remember. It's 18 by 24 if I didn't mention that. So anyways, let's get to a background painting here. That's a pretty good start to the background, and as you can see, I got out some gloves and paper towels and some asphalt tar. So the next step is to put tar down in this background, and you're going back on time lapse one more time. Alright, I'm going to let you go today here in the studio, and I will pick you back up very shortly to finish this background. I'm pretty happy with how it is. I'm going to just let the kind of tar sit in there a little bit more, make sure everything is fully cured, and then come back and most likely embed the leaf prints next and put the words on, and then the tree and paint the tree and, you know, all the stuff. But for now, I am calling it in the studio, and I will pick you guys back up here very, very shortly. Morning all. Made it into the studio and it is gusty, windy out there and my hands are freezing. I do believe winter is right around the corner here. Went for a beautiful walk the other day and man, what a difference a few days can make. So anyways, a bit of a chilly start and I'm thinking you can hear me over kind of the rustling and stuff going on the roof. Hopefully you can because it's so windy out there. I don't know, can you hear that? Probably not. Anyways, all of the leaves are like, we're still hanging onto the trees, are completely blowing off the trees and, you know, hitting everything else as they fly around. So anyways, getting back to this American beech tree painting. Today's plan is to, I have the wax turned on, so if you hear that clinking in the background, it's the griddles heating up. Today's plan is to get the leaves embedded into this background, probably trace the tree. Actually, I might do that first. I might put the tree onto the tengucho paper just so I can get an idea of where the tree is going to lay on the painting before I start embedding the leaves. So I think those two things are today's plan, and maybe even actually embed the tree, the tengucho paper and tree into the painting as well. That way the background will pretty much be completely finalized for this painting. So anyways, let's get to doing that. Alright, that took a bit longer than what I thought it was going to. For some reason, I just couldn't get these leaves arranged how I wanted to. But I think you can kind of see the tree back in there. And now to embed these leaf prints. Alright, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you this, but I think I'm going to call it for today again in the studio. I didn't film the whole process. Like I keep saying, you've seen this process a lot, but this one took a little bit more tweaking, I have to say. And I added a few more colors in. after I got the leaves embedded and things like that. So I'll flip the camera around and kind of show you. All right, here it is. And it might not look too different from the time lapse that I had, but I think you can see on these leaves, I covered up a little bit more, like I went over top of them with some of the encaustic paint colors that were already in here, just to kind of blend them into the background a little bit more. And yeah, the tree you can hardly see, but I think you can kind of see in there. So I obviously need to go back and get the tree done, put in some of the words that I use on these backgrounds and things like that. But that is going to be for another studio session day. So I will pick you all up very, very shortly for adding the tree in and these words. And yeah, fingers crossed, I'm still hoping to get this painting done to have it come out for this coming video. We'll see. Morning all, back in the studio, and today's plan is to hopefully, maybe, fingers crossed, get this painting completed. So I'm gonna start with the putting the tree in, the tree layers, and I'll flip the camera around and show you the paint colors. But I'm using encaustic paint and one paint that I've made myself, which is the black color. But I'm using Seattle Grunge, Citron Green, and Cobalt Teal Green, I believe. Yeah, Cobalt Teal Green for this tree, in case you're wondering about the colors. And I'm going to start with the Seattle Grunge, which is the lightest color. And I've got my small paintbrushes on the griddle, and yeah, we're ready to go. I don't know if I'll get out the wax writer right away or if I'll just fill in some of the thicker parts. Undecided on that, but we'll just see where this takes us. Alright all, two things. First, it's probably hard for you to see that Seattle Grunge color, I think, in the video. It almost blends into the background, but I'm gonna add a bunch more colors obviously to this and it'll pop out more. And then the other thing is I did get out the electric Kistka because I'm finding that these branches are getting too skinny to get the paintbrush in there kind of evenly. So I got that out, and yeah, we'll see what happens here. All right, all. That just took me almost 2 hours, which is crazy, and it's nowhere near done. But the Seattle Grunge, I think, is on the kind of whitish color. So I'm going to move on to the green next. I'm still hoping to get this done today, but we'll see, because today's Friday and I really don't want to work tomorrow and Saturday. But if I have to, it's okay. At least I'm painting. And I'm trying to get this done so I can get the video out there to you all, which is, you know, pros and cons of creating YouTube videos. One pro is they're fun. I love creating them. I love chit-chatting with all of you that watch them in the comment section and all of that stuff. And of course, I love spreading the news about encaustic. But the downside is kind of the pressure that I put on myself, totally self-induced, to get a video out. So anyways, I'm gonna stop chit-chatting and get the green down on this. Probably gonna just keep putting you guys on time-lapse, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, here you go, time-lapse mode. All right, all, I think the tree is done. I'll flip the camera around and show you, but this was a very tedious process. I think this tree, I know it's the biggest tree, not by much, but I think it took me the longest to do. I'm happy with how it came out, so let me flip the camera around. And I think what I'm gonna do after I show you this is I'll put the words down on it next and then retake a look at it again just to make sure, but I think it's good. Let me flip the camera around. All right, here it is. And I think it pops off enough. I know it blends in a little bit more maybe to the background. I think you're getting that on camera. I'm hoping it pops off enough. I think it does. And I don't want to add anything kind of over on this side where it does blend in a little bit more, because I think that takes away from the shadows on this side. So I think it's good. Like I said, I'll add the words to it next and we'll go from there. All right, all, you just saw me take the tape off, so that can only mean one thing. This painting I'm calling done. Before I let you go, I just wanted to say thank you very, very, very much for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It truly, truly does help me out. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. There are more tree paintings coming your way. I have at least one more I'm going to do in this series before it's done. I think I might even do a couple more because I have a couple more kind of medium-sized panels. So, and one large panel, just like this size. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go here. Thanks again for coming along. Really do appreciate it. See you on the next one. Bye for now.